Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the most important WordPress plugins, well, most of them, and some optional ones. This tutorial is basically for business owners who have websites or for bloggers who are just either starting out or want to gain some extra knowledge or about the plugins, WordPress plugins. Okay, let's get it started now. What is this tutorial actually? This tutorial lists all the useful and free WordPress plugins, right? So some of them are paid as well, but you can use them absolutely free. And this tutorial also talks about the features, what they are, their features, their limitations, if any, or their popularity among the customers. And it also points out any alternate plugins that you can use instead of them. We also mention the latest version of the plugin or the active plugin and what is the user rating for that plugin. So we are not showing any installation or configuration steps in this tutorial just yet. So let's get started now. Okay, I'll give a warning. Installing too many plugins can affect your website's overall performance in a negative way. So be careful about it. But some of these plugins can be activated only when you need to perform some tasks. Let's say, for example, WordPress File Manager plugin, which lets you handle file from inside a WordPress admin panel. So you don't have to go to the control panel and handle the file, delete or edit or view files from there. I'll talk about this plugin later on, but I'm just saying that some of these plugins can be only activated when it is needed and can be deactivated once the task is done. So the first plugin here is Add to Any Share Button. It's an optional plugin, but people use it anyways. It's especially for bloggers because they write articles and publish them quite often. And because of that, it's easy to share. And it can be activated and deactivated. Let's say you have a blog site, right? So you wrote an article and you wanted to publish it in just not the website, but also in our social media platforms like Facebook. So you shared it easily using this plugin called Add to Any Share Buttons. And then if you want to deactivate it so that the website doesn't get slow, so you can deactivate it after sharing the article. But if you want your customers also to share this article using that plugin, just leave it as it is. So what category of plugin is it? I would call it easy sharing. So this plugin is for easily sharing the articles in our website or anywhere. And it's of course a free plugin. So what it does is it makes it easier for bloggers to share the articles on social media platforms. What is the limitation? So it is just a simple plugin, so it doesn't do anything else, so just for sharing purpose. So the last update as I'm making this video was 3 weeks ago, and the latest version is updated version is 1.7.43. The popularity is, you can see it is quite popular in terms of installations. So it has got over 500,000 active installations. Based on 956 user reviews, it's 5 stars. It has been given 5 stars. So it is a good plugin actually. It doesn't do much, but it's still a good plugin. So should you install this plugin? You can try it. It's an optional thing. You can try it, or you can, as I said earlier, you can activate and deactivate as you need it. And the second plugin in this list is all-in-one WP security and firewall. Actually, I would say it's a must-have plugin for mostly bloggers and even the website, business owners. Well, actually, what is it? First, I'll tell you about it. It is a free plugin that you can use to block hackers, and spammers from hacking your website or trying to brute force the website. So it also checks the login history. You can check the login history as well. Who's currently logged in, who logged in before, who tried to log in but failed, and things like that. And you can also check or set directory permissions, individual directory permissions inside of the website. You can set basic firewalls, prevent brute force attacks by setting CAPTCHA or honeypot. And there's another option where you can detect any changes in the website. There are ways to do it. The category of this plugin is, I call it a security plugin, and it's of course a free plugin. The alternative plugins that you can use instead of this one is iThemes Security, which is pretty good one as well. And this plugin is for both category of website owners, whether you are a blogger or you're a business owner. The last update was 4 weeks ago as of today, and the current version is 4.4.6. And as you can see, it's quite popular too. Like, it's almost 1 million now active installations, 5-star rating as per 1041 user reviews. So I would call it a must-have plugin. It is not too hard, but it's a bit, if you are very basic in WordPress, it can be a bit tricky to configure this plugin. So another one is Black Hole for Bad Bots. People have given good reviews for this plugin, but it's not so popular. I think it's quite a new one, and this is called Black Hole for Bad Bots. You might have heard of bots, right? Like, there are different kind of bots, chat bots. They are pretty much an algorithm. They're algorithms that does certain tasks, perform certain tasks. Either that can be analysis or spamming or web scraping, anything, or cloning the website. It can be anything, but they are most of the time AI based algorithms, and they are good ones too. Like Google checks every website that is indexed or new website to put it in its own index library, and Yahoo does the same, Bing does the same, and Facebook serves or browses your website only when somebody shares or you share an article in the Facebook, and then someone clicks on that post and goes into your article. So instead of Facebook opening your link in a browser, it opens in a different kind of its own sort of browser, where the user who clicks the link can read the article. So that is the Facebook bot. But these are the good bots. These are the good bots that you don't have to worry about. But the thing is, there are bad bots too, who try to copy your content or spam your website. So we have to control them so that your server resources are not sucked. So this is also a category of security. So it gives a kind of security to the websites so that your resources are not used by unwanted traffic. And the alternative plugins for this one are all-in-one WP Security, WordFence Security, but this is a pretty good one for bad bots. And these are for both business owners and bloggers as well. And the last updated this one was 3 months ago, and the current version is 3.0. It is also quite popular, but not so much as other plugins. It has got 20,000 active installations. It is given 5-star based on 101 user reviews. So should you install this plugin? I would recommend yes, at least give it a go and see how your stats fluctuate and before and after installing this plugin. Okay, and the next plugin I'm talking about is Broken Link Checker. It's also a good plugin. Actually, you should have this plugin. But first I'll talk about what is Broken Link. Broken Link is the link that you have mentioned while writing in your blog, but later on what happened is like that address that you mentioned was either deleted or the entire website is gone. So the hyperlink that mentioned that URL is now called broken link. So what happens is like when a user clicks on that link, it shows not found error. To avoid that, as a blogger, or a business owner of a website, what you can do is like you can have something like Screaming Frog to check every now and then, but you have to do that quite often. So the better way is having this broken link checker plugin, where it shows you automatically whenever you log into the WordPress admin panel. So this is quite a good and useful plugin. So I recommend you to have it. And the active version of this plugin is 1.11.15, and it was updated 3 months ago. It is quite popular, as you can see, is 700,000 active installations. It is given only 4 stars based on 409 user reviews, which is still good. And I recommend that you should have it. Another one is Custom Form 7. It is quite popular, and chances are you already have it in your WordPress panel, and you have already implemented in your website, because whenever, most of the time, websites are designed by designers, and you give a contract to the designer, and the designer designs it and handovers the passwords and everything back to you. So after that, you manage the website, right? So normally what happens is like custom form, they are already implemented, especially in contact us, like contact us pages and those register form pages. They normally put it. Actually, using this plugin, it's quite easy to manage multiple contacts forms and customize them quite easily. So designers frequently use it. This is a free plugin too, so it's easy for you to, without paying, you can use this plugin. So the alternative plugin can be contact forms by WP Forms, or alternatively what you can do is like there's a new plugin provided by Facebook itself. It's called the official Facebook chat. You can integrate that in your website so that it looks cool and your website looks modern. But there are some problem in that plugin, so people are still using this Custom Form 7. So maybe in future Facebook chat plugin will be more popular than this one. Yeah. What happened, let's see. It's for both of the business website owners and bloggers, and the current version of this plugin is 5.3.2, and it was last updated 2 months ago. It is quite popular. It's very popular. You can see 5 million plus active installations, and it is given 4 stars, based on 840 user reviews, and it is a good to have plugin. But be careful about using these contacts forms. You should not, I'd recommend you should not use it unnecessarily unless you need it. Because the reason being that hackers can, if they find a loophole, then they can use different tricks to, attack and hack your website. So forms are a way to do that, as they can do different kind of SQL injection and different kind of tricks to compromise the website. Okay, the next plugin is Google Analytics for WordPress. What it does, actually, you might have heard about Google Analytics, or you might have already installed it using a different way, like using the script. So if you have already done so, you don't have to worry about this plugin. But if you haven't done it and you were wondering how to install Google Analytics and you haven't done anything, then this plugin is very helpful for you, because it's so easy to install and configure. And it comes in the category of analytics. It's a free plugin, and what it does really is, like, as I've told earlier, like you go to the Google Analytics, your Google account, which you should have already, and then you create a property there. And in some other videos, I'll show you that. And you come back to WordPress admin panel, and you can install this plugin and configure it very easily to get the analytics. And the good thing about this analytics is that if you click or if you serve page using your browser after installing this plugin, what happens is like your visits are not recorded. So you can separate your visits from your customer's visit to your websites. So you can clearly analyze how many customers have visited your website. So this plugin is very popular too. It has got over 2 million active installation. It's given 4.5 stars rating based on 2210 user reviews. The active version is 7.15.1 as of now, and the last updated was 2 weeks ago. The next plugin, actually this plugin is, say, it's very optional. Like if you're a website business owner, don't use this one. But if you are a new blogger, especially if your website is, just up to 6 months old, then only you can use this one, and that's also optional. You know why? Because I'll talk about the limitations and features of this plugin first, and then I'll tell you why. The description is like, it protects from copying text easily. Suppose you are a blogger and you don't have much of authority in Google SEO ranking. So what happens is, like, if you write blogs, some other person other than your customers or readers, they come visit your page and they copy your content and kind of can prove to Google that it's their content. So to protect your content, especially text content or image content, then you can use this one. So a person cannot directly copy or right click and copy the image if you use this plugin. And it is a category of security, copyright protection. It is a free plugin, but it expires quite quickly, so you have to pay. But it has got limitations. If the content thief is quite a pro in doing so, or he doesn't have to be a good hacker or something like that, he can easily copy your content using developer's tool panel. So if you know what that means, then you might have guessed it. Developer tools panel is a panel where you can right click, or you can go from a tools menu, and then you can switch it on, and from there you can copy the text. But it's harder than how you would normally copy from a website. So it makes it harder for content thieves to copy the website content. So it is good only for that. So it has got limitations, and that's why I'm saying this is only optional and only for new bloggers. The current version of this plugin is 3.1.4, and it was last updated 4 weeks ago. It has got 100,000 active installations, and it has been given 4.5 stars based on 562 user reviews. So as I already told you, it's optional, purely optional. You should use it if you are new to the blogging, only if you are new to blogging. All right. Next one, WP File Manager. It's also an optional one, but it's quite useful. I'll tell you why. First, I'll tell you what the features about this one. It lets you manage the website files from WordPress admin panel. What does that mean? That means you can create, edit, view files, any PHP or any other files of your website from WordPress admin panel. Without this plugin, you can't do that, or similar plugin, you can't do that. You have to go to Control Panel, and then you have to go to File Manager and change your files or manage your files. You can, and other things that you can do with the managing is, like, you can have a backup of it, you can delete the files, you can rename the files, you can move files from one folder to another folder, things like that. And the beauty is why this is useful for you. The thing is, suppose you have to do a major update of your website, or anything that you cannot do to a website, right? Suppose you are changing your contact us page, you are doing something high tech that you don't know, then you have to give it to your designer. In that case, if you have this plugin, what happens is, like, you don't have to give your credentials of your control panel to your designer in most of the cases. Once the website is ready and it's in your hand, the credentials are in your hand back, and you change the password and everything. The second time when you are updating something, you don't have to give the FTP or cPanel access to your designer. You can just give the WordPress, you can just invite them, you can just invite them as a user in a WordPress, and then you can give access for a certain time, and then you can revoke that access after the task is done. So it's easier that way. So it comes in a category of file management. It's quite a free plugin. So be careful about this. Hackers may get access to the entire website if you are careless about the password and other things like security stuff. Your security or website is too weak, or you are not with the good web hosting providers, then it is one of the weak links. And it is both for business website and bloggers. And the last updated was 2 days ago. So it's current version is 7.0. Popularity, see, you can see it's 600,000 active installations, 4.5 star based on 978 user reviews. So it's still an optional plugin, but I recommend you use it, and you can activate only when you're changing the file from WordPress panel. So you can deactivate it after you manage the files, and then it won't take your resources. WP Super Cache. Some people use alternatives like WP Rocket, which is quite popular, and some other people use like W3 Total Cache or Lightspeed Cache. But whatever you are using, it is for speed optimization, and it's free plugin. So what it does actually is like in WordPress, in case of WordPress, it's not like HTML website, where every page is static. Most of the pages which are not written by server side or JavaScript, they are most of the time static pages, HTML pages, meaning that they are fixed. Their content are fixed. All the scripts and contents are fixed. They can be changed or they are not dynamic. But in case of WordPress, what happens is like your content is saved in database somewhere, and that content is when some user asks for the content or requests for the content or the page. What happens is like WordPress renders from the database and gives it in a static HTML format show it to the customers or the readers. So what this kind of cache system or the plugins do is like they save a copy of the static HTML of your website in the server, and show that static page instead of that processing heavy WordPress scripts every time they request the page. So it is in that way your website becomes quite optimized. And the alternative you can use is, people are nowadays using something called Cloudflare, which is a content delivery network system. So you can use Cloudflare in addition to these cache plugins. So they are kind of different servers which are also free, and they provide a caching for any websites that gets affiliated with them. So the affiliation is free as well. And these are for every kind of website owners. And the current version is 1.7.1, and it was last updated 2 months ago. It is quite popular. It has got 2 million plus active installations. It's 4.5 stars based on 1266 user reviews. So it's a must-have plugin. If you have other cache plugin like WP Rocket, then you don't have to use it, or else you should use it. And the last plugin that I'll be talking about is Yoast SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. As you may have heard this term before, it is a way to optimize your website so that Google search engines, like especially the Google, finds you or ranks you in a top positions. Let's say maybe a top 5 or in the first page or something like that. So plugins like Yoast SEO make it really easy for you, especially the bloggers, to rank or to optimize the articles and the entire website for search engines. So what it does is like it makes it easier for you to add meta tags and meta descriptions in every page while you are writing the blog article. So this plugin is also free, and it's quite popular, and the alternatives you can use are all-in-one SEO or rank map. The current version is 15.7, and it was last updated 2 weeks ago. It's quite popular. As you can see, it has got 5 million plus active installation, and the user rating is 5 stars on 27,299 user reviews. So you must have this plugin. If you have other kind of plugins like all-in-one SEO or rank map, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can use this plugin as well. Thank you for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.